The film opens with an elderly woman named Mrs. Cruz. Her days feel very boring. Mrs. Cruz's husband only watches TV every day. There are not many activities to do. Even though she is elderly, Mrs. Cruz is different from her husband. She still wants to do activities like people in general. For example, by going to church. They don't just live together. Mrs. Cruz has a granddaughter named Vivi who is entrusted to her. While Vivi's parents live in another city, she is focusing on achieving her dream of becoming a professional dancer. Mrs. Cruz supports her child's dream and hopes she can make her dream come true. After the video call, Mrs. Cruz is curious about the city where her child lives, and it is known that the name of the city is Vienna. Mrs. Cruz tries to search for it on the internet, but when browsing the internet, suddenly an advertisement appears. She, who doesn't really understand technology, then clicks on the advertisement, and a video of making out appears. Mrs. Cruz, who was shocked, hurriedly turned off her tablet and went to sleep. But since that night, her mind has been disturbed. She felt curious and wanted to feel again what she had seen. Every day she always imagined it. She even imagined being intimate with the statue of Jesus in front of her. Days passed. Mrs. Cruz's desire could not be stopped. She even tried to invite her husband to push rank to glory. But her efforts were in vain. Her husband refused because they were old and could no longer do that. That night Mrs. Cruz couldn't sleep. When her husband was asleep, she was busy playing with her tablet, and deliberately looked for a tutorial on making out on the internet. Slowly but surely Mrs. Cruz's youthful soul rose again. She began to want to improve her appearance. Mrs. Cruz even came to the salon and changed her hairstyle to look a little younger. After that, Mrs. Cruz went to a group that was also the same age as her. There were people who had the same fate as her. There Mrs. Cruz learned many things. She was even told about a special tool that could help her at home when she was alone. It didn't stop there. Mrs. Cruz was also asked to design clothes for all of them to make them look younger, and they said they would replace them with the tool they showed. So apparently Mrs. Cruz used to be a beautiful woman. Besides that, she was also a famous designer. Many of the clothes she made were worn by top artists and singers. Day by day Mrs. Cruz and the members of the group became more and more. They often went out together and acted like young people. They even went to cafes and ended up drunk. Her husband, who knew Mrs. Cruz often came home late, was curious about what his wife was doing. But Mrs. Cruz said she was busy with a lot of orders and had to be completed as soon as possible. A few days later, Mrs. Cruz got a video call from her friend named Maria. They were busy discussing about making out, but unfortunately their conversation was heard by Mrs. Cruz's husband. That made Mrs. Cruz's husband even more suspicious of her. In the afternoon, Mrs. Cruz met her group friends again, but when she came home she met her husband. Here her husband said that he actually already knew what his wife was doing with her new friends. He also said that this was no longer the time for them. They were old and those times should have been past. Hearing that, Mrs. Cruz came to her senses. She apologized to her husband, then went to church to make a confession. Her husband's words were true. She should enjoy her old age and get closer to God. Mrs. Cruz wanted to return to the way she was, to organize her life to be better. But a few moments later, Mrs. Cruz received news that Maria was hospitalized. She was diagnosed with a serious illness, and maybe her life would not be long. Mrs. Cruz brought the clothes that Maria had ordered before, but Maria asked Mrs. Cruz to wear them herself. She also made a last request. Mrs. Cruz had to try the tool that they had discussed at the gathering. Finally, Mrs. Cruz went home, wearing the clothes she had made for Maria. She also obeyed the last request that Maria gave. Mrs. Cruz seemed to be flying, feeling something she had not felt for a long time. Until finally the film was over.